skill difference between a lot of amateurs and a lot of pros as well. Like
Depends what amateur you know.
yeah, it's like the ability to apply it in a fight is different. But like, you know, like the twins, they, you know, Kieran and Ryan Grayson, they both stopped fighting at like 3-5 amateur fights, something like that, because they just have real jobs and have their lives that they do. That's, you know, professional fighting is not what they've chosen to do, but they're still there, they're still in the gym, they're still helping us out, they're still valuable.
Yeah, it's like there's like one of the gyms everyone seems to want to go to is like Sanford MMA, because it's like a mega gym, it's got all these fighters in. But if you're travelling to train somewhere like that,
is that where Ian Gary went to recently?
yeah, and he's doing
I'm going to say this right now, that is a shit camp for Ian Gary to go to. That's a terrible idea.
I haven't watched his last fight, which, from all the sounds of it, apparently he did really well. So, well, I'm gonna. Yeah,
I think he's had
Like,
two
not
fights.
compared to what he was like.
Yeah.
It's just like it doesn't make sense stylistically. It's just not the right fit for him, I don't think.
but yeah. Anyway, what I was saying before Harry went in the tirade.
Tirade of Ian Gary with his weird wife situation.
But anyway, anyway, just cut all that shit out. So what I was saying is, you know, people might move to Sanford or whatever.
He's got two first names for it.
But anyway, people might move to a massive camp and be another cog in the wheel. They're there they're there first for a while, almost to get brought in and be battered by the big lads at the gym, like the big names at the gym. Whereas like talking about Demetrius Johnson there, it's all drills and rounds to get himself better, and it's also like the people I'm sparring with, they work real jobs. It's the last thing I'd ever want to do is to cause any kind of injury or damage them in a way that would affect them going to work.
Yeah.
Or affect them coming and training, because they're like one of my main training partners. Whereas sometimes at a bigger gym, there's not that same atmosphere, because it's kind of like, oh well, we sparred hard, I've busted this guy's eye up, but it doesn't matter because I've got 10 other guys to spar, whoever, just grab whoever.
There's just that many people as well, like.
Yeah, whereas like, when it's that close knit, it's
I think in like a sparring room as well, when there's that many different people from different like where it's the same group of consistently the same group after a while. Like for a while, it's like you can get a good intensity where you're all kind of known, you're all on the same wavelength. Whereas I imagine it like some big gym with loads of visiting fighters, it's hard to keep it on the same wavelength.
I've got something to say, right?
Fuck Ian Gary.
But yeah, like Harry was saying, I think he was trying to get like when you know people and you know, like with Harry or George or some experienced people, we know how to go hard and like full like have a good whack spar, but like no one will get hurt. You know what I mean? It's like do you know what I mean? Like the way you understand. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it, but you just know.
Because you've got a relationship.
Kind of, yeah, but not like fruity like that. Just like
that word has other meanings.
But like not in like a fruity way, but like yeah. Well, I've lost my train of thought now. But my point is, right, when you spar someone who you know, and like you know their levels and that, like you know you can have an hard spar, no one gets hurt.
Said about Driscoll's boxing, but apart from that, was there anything else that surprised you about him last weekend?
What surprised me was his boxing, and then what surprised me was how easy I defended the takedowns. I don't know if he thought the guillotine threat was right there because I had the wrap on the head. I don't know if it was just that slippy and bloody and sweaty that he couldn't get a grip and he just didn't feel it there.
I think you never let him like settle.
Yeah, never let him settle, and he never set his shot. He never set his shots up where he's going to land the punches and shoot on me. What happened was, he'd think as a striker, I'd ding him with something like a right hand or a calf kick, then he would shoot, which made it really easy for me.
Just to my eyes, it looked like he didn't fully commit to the takedowns. Did it feel like that, or?
Yeah, like he'd break and come up with a strike. The last takedown, the very last takedown of the fight, takedown attempt in the 4th round, he drove me across the full cage, and I knew at that point all his like aspirations of being a striker and being more entertaining had gone. So I just got straight onto him after that because he used his full gas tank on that.
Yeah, I noticed in the earlier rounds you were chopping at his lead leg quite a bit. Was that part of your game plan, or?
I really limited my kicking variety in that fight. I wanted to kick below the knee where it was hard to catch, and the head kicks and stuff would come like right near the end of the round, where it's not like I'm sacrificing potentially 2 minutes of a round going on my back because I threw a head kick in the first minute of the round. I would time them to like the end of the round where there's not as much risk. But yeah, really, the kicking variety was very limited in that fight. Something to build up.
You could see it was getting quite swollen below his knee, like.
I didn't really notice at the time, and I thought he did a good job of checking them. But I didn't, because I'm not staring at his calf. It was only when I watched the fight back I saw how red it was. And I noticed a few times I'd land a really good calf kick, and then he'd shoot in straight after, which is a telling sign. It's like, it's got the respect, it's hurt them.
Yeah. Obviously you mentioned like McColgan and Big Lack afterwards. Who do you think the most likely opponent will be?
Probably Big Lack. Big Lack is the most logical, most active at the minute. We built that up with the 10-minute stare down thing. Just the 10-minute stare down of social awkwardness.
What do you make of him, how he fights?
He copies my combos and stuff, but I like his fights. He's fought a few people just back off massively, like when he fought Stevie McIntosh. McIntosh just ran away. I know it's hard to make a fight when someone's that committed to just running away, but I like his style. You know, he's on a similar path.
The fact that he's undefeated, does that mean anything to you, really?
Nah, it means nothing to me.
Yeah.
Like his undefeatedness doesn't change his habits or his tendencies. He'd have the same openings.
We got launched off a horse the other day.
What?
Fucking horse, don't go on him.
We were on a horse together and we got launched off.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Instagram. Where was this horse and why were you on it?
So it is.
My girlfriend's friend has horses and we got flung off it.
Alright, like Buckaroo or something like that.
Well, I'll explain it, right? So, I get taught, I've never been on a horse, obviously. So they just teach me the basics, blah de blah, blah de blah. Sound, no problem. We've been out for a bit now, he's ridden it, I've ridden it. His bird's ridden it. It's all going good, but it's quite an off day. The horse looks sick. But the girls there were like, oh no, it'll be good if you two get on at the same time and get a picture. And I was like, nah, a bit daft, like, you know what I mean? I don't want to be fucking about with horses. Because they are 500 kilo creatures, which are unpredictable and could do anything. But anyway, we do it anyway. Jump on this horse. Anyway, kicks off, tenses up. He just jumps off the back. I fall back. The buckaroo's up, like you said. And she took it back now and said I wasn't in the air. But I'm telling you now, right? I was in the air. I looked down.
Like Phil Collins.
In the air tonight, exactly. Did
How high do you reckon you were?
I don't know. They said higher than that lamb thing, but apparently it wasn't true.
They was taking the piss back.
Didn't seem like they were taking the piss at the time. They're like, oh, you went this high? Oh, I'm up, you're alright. And then apparently now, because I don't like horses, it's all like, oh, you only fell off the side, you were sound. You know what I mean? But anyway, I was alright, because the floor's like sand and like cut up pieces of clothes or something.
I've never ridden a horse myself.
Do not do it. Because it's not worth the risk. The risk versus reward.
I don't think I'd be tall enough to even get on it, I don't think. I'm fucking...
I got on a bench.
Oh.
But I'm telling you now, don't.
You mentioned yourself obviously having like the title fight yourself for the end of the year, you said, didn't you?
Yeah.
Who do you think that'll be against if you had to guess at this point?
I think Abel might actually be stone, I end up fighting for it. Aimable or Pasquale, like realistically, I don't see Vucenic or Hughes staying around in Cage Warriors if they win. Pardon my God.
Do you think even the loser will move on, do you think?
No, but they won't be rushed back into a title fight straight away, I don't think. But yeah, it's just one of those, like, I don't care at this point. I want a 5-round fight with someone, like that's...
Call someone out, man. Come on, stand down, call someone out. Create something.
Come Monday, you kicked me in the dick 3 times, I'm gonna kick you in the dick 4 times.
Anyone you want to call out, Leon, whilst we're...
Who do I want to call out? Oh, that guy might come to the gym, innit? I just want to fight again, anyone, and then whoever's the by end of next year or whatever, I want to be fighting for the featherweight almighty belt. That's my goal. And whoever has it's getting it.
Obviously, like, being brothers and doing everything together, like you were saying, and training and stuff. Do you think that means your mentality's the same as well, as in like your confidence and how you deal with stuff?
I think there was a time where me and Harry were like the same person.
Obviously, like your fighting style's fairly similar as well.
There was a time, and it would be mad in sparring. We'd throw like an inside leg kick at the same time and kick each other's shins. It was like we were on the same wavelength, like that much. But now we've kind of separated into like our own styles and own people a bit different,
Which is good.
yeah, it's a good thing. Like,
In what way?
so like in terms of a fighting style, where Harry kind of does a bit more style switching, he's bigger on the stance switches, and he kind of like more light-footed and feinty and stuff. Whereas my style's been built off me being a kickboxing nerd. I'm a much bigger kickboxing nerd than Harry is. Like, I'll tell Harry, oh man, have you seen this Masaki Noiri fight? He fought Rakiya Anpo at the end of the tournament. It was brilliant. There was calf kicks and all that. I was like, oh, sick. And I just send him the fights.
I'll put it out there. Look, a lot of people, I'm bad with foreign names. Like, when he says this stuff, I'm like I'm recognising some of them and I'm getting better. But
I'm like, haven't you watched Taiyo Asahisa versus Gondapar Wirasaka? I've watched it for the 9th time today. I'm like, I've gone much down a more like kickboxing nerdy rabbit hole than Harry.
I'd say I watch a lot of training stuff a lot more. Like that, if I start actively watching, well, not actively watching, but if I start watching and studying stuff on the internet, I'll study people's training a lot more than I'll study fights a lot as well, but I don't know. It was just, I like watching training. I like seeing how gyms work. I like seeing what works for people and stuff like that. But yeah.
What about you, Leon? Like mentally, do you think you take a lot of stuff off those guys, or do you just sort of
Mentally, probably not.
Like how they approach training, like how they approach training and stuff.
Or like they set a big example of like being in the gym every day, you know, train, blah blah blah. But yeah, I'd say like when I was younger, they set an example for me to be a bit more like consistent. It just made it normal to me. I don't know if I was always just like that. I was always, you know, like coming in every day and training wasn't a big thing to me. It was just normal because I enjoyed it. But they've like set the path. They've sort of set the path for the rest of the gym now. You know what I mean? It's like if you do something similar to what they're doing, you're gonna end up where you want to be. But mentally, no.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I don't know. Mentally, I think they're both different mentally when it comes to fighting as well. I feel like Harry thinks into it more than George. But Harry thinks into it to a point where he's like thinking about the fight and it makes him like, you know, perform. And he does well about it because he thinks about it that much. I don't know if I'm right there, but that's all the vibe I get. Where George is just like, I don't think of anything, I'm just prepared, let me fight. But I think it's important to just have the mentality that works for you, not like copy other people.
Where do you think you lie on that spectrum then between thinking about it too much and not enough?
He has to hate the guy.
I don't have to. I've changed a bit from that. Like, cause I used to be like, I have to hate the guy, he's trying to hate me. But then, like, there was a guy who I was gonna fight before, Sammy Hawk, you've probably heard of him. But then I seen him in the gym, in the strength and conditioning gym. And I said, alright with him, and he was like, oh, you're alright. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, it's a bit like, we're both just doing the same thing, do you know what I mean? So it wasn't like, I just realised, like, obviously I'm not going to fight him anytime soon, but like back a few years ago before COVID we were going to fight, and I was like, that just changed my opinion on it a bit. Like, you don't have to hate them, but when you're in there you do, you know what I mean? But mentality wise, I just don't really think about it, just go in and have a scrap.
This is my first ever White Russian. I've watched The Big Lebowski once, and to be honest, I didn't get a lot of it because I was a bit young. So, see what it's like. Ooh. Interstellar, like, it's not even the best Chris. It's like a mid-tier by Chris Nolan standards. Everyone cries for no reason, and it's like, I can't be bothered. Half of this film's crying. Get back in the spaceship, you cunts. But anyway.
What was that fucking Raj one? Why don't you play in hell?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Which one?
So why don't you play in hell? It's some fucking Rad's Japanese film about this amateur filming team who get embroiled in a Yakuza thing, and they agree to film this Yakuza shootout and sword fight or whatever. They just agree to film a load of Yakuza people killing each other, but it's all very topsy-turvy.
Kuro Obi's a banger.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Pulp Fiction?
I ain't watched that.
Fuck
and I'm not gonna
Tarantino.
watch.
Him and Ian Gary.
You are?
Fuck Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
He needs an editor.
Yeah, he does need an editor. I think best films for me. Best films, I think, Train to Busan.
Oh shit, yeah, that.
Singing in the Rain. And that's it, yeah. Those are the only good.
Favourite series?
Oh, Children of Men.
Nah, it's not bad.
It's a fucking.
It's got good. Harry's like every film is, whoa, it's up there. But there's like,
Children of Men's like that is a sci-fi classic.
yeah, but it's not
If you're-
singing in the
if
rain.
you're- There's rain.
Yeah, but they don't sing in it. Fucking losers.
Two cocktails, and he's the shout.
He's a bit drunk now.
He's the shouting.
He's a bit drunk now, I can tell.
He's at the two.
He's a little bit drunk.
And
This is just the start.
He's at the
Tonight we go big.
stage already where he's shouting at people's opinions.
You like this film, you piece of shit.
I'm not being rude. I'm not shouting at you. I'm just shouting at your opinion. Does anywhere in Borough play on a night out? Just Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears for like 4 hours straight. I could happily go to a club that played that and only that.
Well, you want to see this when we went in down south? It was that was on in the building.
For 4 hours?
Oh, I thought I would for a little bit, then I stopped it, put this other song on. Kept stopping it playing and stopping it playing. Pubs down south. Big thumbs down, pal. Shit.
And then, I mean, £6 a pint's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, for two pints of Peroni and a tonic water, it was like $13.80. Ridiculous. It wasn't that bad though, it could have been worse, I guess.
Came back with a Cage Warriors belt though.
Yeah.
What?
I just said yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not drunk.
That's exactly what a drunk would say.